So here we are again in the Mk1 TT, and today we're looking at an issue with this thing, the headlight switch. Now the problem I've got is essentially when you're turning this thing on and off, the fog lights illuminate kind of randomly depending on whether you've got it in the positions 1 or 2. And obviously these should only be working when you're actually pulling the switch out. So yeah, what we're going to try and do is work out how to remove this, dismantle it, and see if we can clean this up rather than going and buying a replacement. So yeah, we'll try and fix it first and then see how it goes. So yeah, first off is to try and work out how to get this removed. So I had a quick look online, and the way to remove the headlight switch without having to dismantle the dashboard is to do this little trick which releases some clips inside. So what you do is on the off position you push this in and you turn it slightly clockwise until it engages here, and then that should release the clips, then allows you to essentially pull this entire unit out. And then what we can do now is release the clips on here and here, and then we can get this entire unit out and start to strip it apart and see what the problem is with the headlight switch. So yeah, let's get this out and then get it on the bench and see what's going on. So in order to be able to remove the switch from the cover, we just need to remove this first. And as you can see, there's 2 clips on the top and the bottom which you just carefully need to undo in order to get this out. And then obviously once that's out, then we can just pull this out, and then we have the switch isolated. So now we can start to take this one apart. So now we've managed to get the main switch out of this cover by removing this. We can now start splitting this apart. Now before you attempt to try and undo it here and here, you just need to make sure that these little clips here have been pushed in, and you do that in the same way we did when we removed this. So essentially with it in the off position, you push this in and then you twist it ever so slightly clockwise until these things kind of get recessed into the case, and now you can proceed with opening this up, which we'll go and do next. So in order to separate the switch, we need to carefully lift up the tabs around here and here, and then the whole thing should start to separate. Now if you try and pull this out, it's going to get stuck, so what you need to do is twist this anti-clockwise and you'll feel it click, and then you should then be able to separate the two. So now we've got this piece separated from that. So yeah, next up is to start breaking this apart. So with the selector removed, we now just need to take this PCB off, which controls the LEDs, and here we just have to carefully prise these wires off, and then hopefully the entire PCB should lift out, giving us access to the switch. So yeah, let's go and carefully do that. So with the PCB removed, we can now remove the main switch that's inside, and essentially we have to lift these clips up on both sides. There's 4 in total, 2 on the front and the back, and then we should be able to pull this module out. So yeah, I'm going to go off and do that, and then we can have a look at the contacts inside of here. So with the switch now removed, we can look to clean the contacts. And basically how this works is there's a drum inside, and as that rotates, it opens and closes these points here. And I think what happens is over time is, due to the power going through these contacts, you get arcing, which creates essentially a build-up of carbon on the contact points, which then stops them working. And I found the best way to clean these is like you would with a relay, and just use something like a piece of paper that isn't too abrasive. Things like sandpaper potentially are going to start taking any sort of a coating off. So all we do then is just kind of slide these under here. You may need to lift them slightly, and then just drag the paper in and out until you get most of the dirt off. I don't think I'm going to go at this with any chemicals either, just in case, just to make sure that I don't damage anything. So yeah, once we've cleaned up all of these contacts there on both sides, we'll start putting this back together, and then back in the car, and hopefully that's fixed our problem. So here we are now back in the car with the switch installed. As you can see here, when I switch this on, it's a bit bright outside, so you can see the red lights, but good news is obviously the fog lights are now coming on as expected. So yeah, no longer have the issue with the random lights coming on. So I hope you found this useful, and thanks for watching.